The Queen channeled in a rock star in a pair of stylish shades, as she hosted a garden party at Buckingham Palace on Thursday. The monarch was joined by grandson Prince William and granddaughter Princess Eugenie at the event, recognizing the work of hundreds of community leaders. The royals looked in excellent spirits as they mingled with guests in the grounds of the palace, with all three stopping to chat with small groups of people. Supporters stood in crowds 4 deep in the hope of catching a glimpse of Her Majesty, and jostled for position to take photos as she walked past. The garden party is the second hosted by the Queen so far this summer, with 2 more scheduled for June and July, one of which will be held at Holyrood Palace. The Queen donned a turquoise and teal coat dress for the occasion, and demonstrated her sartorial flair by adding the trendy shades. It is the second time in recent weeks the monarch has been seen sporting the accessory, after she wore a pair for the Royal Windsor Horse Show earlier this month. Photographs from the sprawling event show guests jostling for position, and raising their mobiles to snap a photo as she walked past. The Queen also spent time speaking to a number of the invitees, including a uniformed policeman and his wife. Meanwhile, the Duke of Cambridge, who welcomed his third child Prince Louis last month, looked dapper in a top hat and tails. His wife, the Duchess of Cambridge, is currently on maternity leave from royal duties following the birth of her third child. The prince appeared in a particularly jovial mood and was seen chatting and sharing jokes with the invitees. At today's event, he suggested threatened UK swimming pools might be protected by an organisation similar to a charity he heads which safeguards green spaces. William discussed the issue with representatives from the English Schools Swimming Association and the British Sub-Aqua Club, which both rely heavily on pools for their activities. William is associated with both organisations. Stuart Nicklin, president of the English Schools Swimming Association, which William supports as patron, said, "He actually was very interested in looking at a large issue both our organisations have, the closure of swimming pools across the country. Obviously, with the large financial crisis a lot of councils find themselves in. So we were discussing a possible way forward to be able to safeguard the facilities." He added that something similar to Fields in Trust was suggested, an organisation that supports parks and green spaces by protecting them, for people to enjoy in perpetuity. Meanwhile, Princess Eugenie wore a statement hat with the word love emblazoned on the brim for the formal occasion. Eugenie's black headgear certainly stood out, as it also featured a net that concealed part of her face. The cookie hat cost £230 from Miss Harada, and had the word love written onto it in silver beads. She wore the daring hat with a navy dress that featured large bell sleeves pulled up to her elbows. The dress had an asymmetrical hem and was cinched in at the waist, showcasing Eugenie's trim figure. It is the second garden party hosted by the Queen so far this summer, with 2 more scheduled for June and July. Over the course of each year, the Queen welcomes over 30,000 guests to spend a relaxed summer afternoon in the beautiful gardens of Buckingham Palace, or the Palace of Holyrood House. The garden parties serve are an important way for the Queen to speak to a broad range of people from all walks of life, all of whom have made a positive impact in their community. At each garden party, around 27,000 cups of tea, 20,000 sandwiches, and 20,000 slices of cake are consumed.